Alright, bro, I'm about to go here then. Fuck it. We got to have the Brits explain it.
Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in today's video we venture
Oh my god, dog. Where the niggas?
into a living nightmare as we join two children fighting to survive a world full of monstrous dangers at every turn. This is the story of Little Nightmares 2 Explained. Before beginning, let me quickly outline what this video entails. This exploration of Little Nightmares 2 will serve as both a story recap and theory video. We begin as I walk you, the viewer, through the game, beat by beat, acting as a nice way to catch up on the overall story and its most memorable moments.
No theories.
At certain points we will stop to don our theory.
He talks a lot, faster, skip this shit. Oh my god. Little Nightmares 1 story explained. I need the first story explained. I don't really need to know about the patients or the teacher. Like, I don't need that much lore. Actually, I could just go. He has a section here. Why did Six betray Mono? Should I just skip to that part, or should I watch the first part and have the first part of the game explained to me too? Let's do sections. Okay, let's do sections. Let's do part 1 explained, and then I'm gonna do why she betrayed us, because I need to know.
Down a long corridor that bends and distorts before our very eyes. A large doorway is found at the end of this corridor, with the door itself featuring a carving of the iconic eye symbol seen throughout the Little Nightmares series. Before we get to see what may lie behind this door, a blast of static sends us flying back out of a television screen in the middle of a forest clearing.
Okay.
Here, a young boy with a paper bag covering his head awakens with a jolt. This is Mono, our main protagonist and character we must navigate through the many deadly environments of Little Nightmares world.
What?
Mono, seemingly without clear purpose, sets off.
Nigga, this says Little Nightmares 1 story explained. What the fuck? Oh, that's not a 1. That's not a 1. Okay, the hunter, the signal tower, the teacher, patience, Thin Man. I need Thin Man lore and why she betrayed us, to be honest.
Just like Mono, Thin Man is able to transition between the world within the television screens and our own reality. Six and Mono desperately try to escape his grasp, but unfortunately, Six doesn't pick the best hiding place and is taken.
Right. Fuck her, you know what I'm saying?
From this chilling sequence,
we
learn something very unsettling about Thin Man and his implications on the rest of his tormented world. It seems he claims the bodies of these victims. The glitches of the children we find around this world are a result of his actions. Thin Man claims his prey, leaving only an echo of their existence behind, captured in time by the signal tower's transmission. This also explains why the clothes of these viewers have been left behind. As a tweet on the official Nightmares account states, where they're going, they won't need these anymore.
Wait, so I turn evil though, right?
The viewers have been claimed by the signal tower, but before the tower takes their bodies, it first consumes their life force, quite possibly to power itself. As the viewers are transfixed to the broadcast, their bodies erode and energy is drained until they wither and die, at which point Thin Man claims them for the tower. Mono makes his way through the streets alone, avoiding droves of mindless yet savage viewers who seem pretty ticked off every time our hapless adventurer interrupts their static shows. Eventually, Mono encounters the horrifying ghost of Thin Man once more, who is able to slow down time whenever he is near, bending reality as if it were a signal of a television screen itself. The ghost echo of Six leads Mono to the rainy streets outside of the signal tower itself, where as Thin Man finally catches up, it seems all is lost. However, things are about to take a shocking turn. Mono removes the paper bag from his head, and a swell of energy begins to form around him. We noted earlier in the video that Mono had the ability to access the dimension in between worlds, a place from which the signal tower seems to exist. He also had the ability to consume the glitches of those children taken by Thin Man. We now learn he has a very similar power. In fact, Mono is even stronger than his shadowy nemesis.
How the fuck am I stronger than myself?
He takes on Thin Man in an epic battle on the rain-soaked streets and eventually vanquishes him. As Thin Man fades into eternal rest, Mono bends the city to his will and warps directly outside the signal tower. Strangely, the doors open wide as if to welcome him inside.
Cause it's
The
me, it's
inside
my
of the signal
shit.
tower seems to be
Great.
a dimension unto itself. Gravity exists for Mono as he explores, yet objects float around as if gravity isn't present at all. A pinky purple haze coats everything, and stairs lead Mono through doorway after doorway, seemingly without end. He is guided by one familiar sound, a piece of music any Little Nightmares fan will instantly recognise. The music Mono first heard when he met Six playing with her music box in the hunter's cabin.
Okay.
Eventually, this music leads Mono to a strange room full of children's toys, and in this room, he makes a terrible discovery. Six has become warped and distorted herself, bent to the will of the signal tower and twisted into a giant nightmarish abomination. She closely guards a music box, which she seems very protective over as if it soothes her torment. Mono realizes this music box holds some kind of power over his friend, and so takes a hammer and smashes it with all of his might.
We got that.
True form. As Six chases Mono through the ever-changing halls of this structure, its walls transform from plaster to flesh. Everything in this place is fake, an illusion to mask the evil festering within. An elaborate boss battle ensues as Mono must stealthily avoid Six and trick her into moving away from her music box so that our hero may sneak in for the attack. With every smash of the box, Six grows weaker but more agitated. Whenever Mono strikes the music
Fucked his ass up. That wasn't me though.
box, he is thrown into darkness and must locate a wooden doorway and axe to break through in order to return to his tormented friend. It seems the signal tower is able to pull from one's own memories. In Mono's case, it uses a memory he associates with Six, when he first freed her from imprisonment in the hunter's cabin, and applies it to his quest to free her here. For Six, the music box is used, the one thing that kept her calm and collected while she was held prisoner herself. However, the tower seems to use this memory against Six, making sure she guards the object that binds her to this twisted form. We know this because when Mono finally delivers the finishing blow and destroys the music box, the signal tower loses its control over Six and returns her to human form.
Okay.
Now, before we move on to the game's ending, I would like to briefly address my personal theory as to why Six looked and acted this way while held within the signal tower.
I really
When
don't
we think
care,
of
but
what exactly
alright,
the signal
I guess you're
tower
gonna force
is,
it on me.
seems to be a living organism, a fleshy mass disguised as a structure. The tower preys on the life force of others and uses its powers to distort and corrupt everything around it. Its fleshy form explains why bodies are taken once their energy has been sapped. Their flesh and bones are consumed to add to the tower's ever-growing mass of body parts. Those trapped inside are reduced to their most basic form. The dark side of their personalities manifest in physical form. For Six, who throughout both Little Nightmares games has shown to possess a cruel and sadistic persona, despite often having good intentions, this manifestation was represented clearly.
I had noticed that. I was like, yo, this bitch crazy, she wildin'.
A bitter, twisted, angry and vengeful creature, amplified by the signal tower, which exploits the very darkest reaches of one's soul. Her only comfort, as stated before, the music box she associated with happy memories, and in the cruelest of twists, the tower used this happy memory to bind her. Six was guarding her own imprisonment. With Six saved from the tower's control, the two adventurers make haste and rush for the exit, the tower now fully revealing itself as a gory mess of flesh, organs and eyeballs. Remember those eye symbols we see throughout the world of Little Nightmares?
Yeah.
Always watching. The eyes everyone seems obsessed with. Well, they now make total sense, considering this structure that has warped the world into the nightmare it is made up from them. Six races ahead, but Mono stumbles. He is left behind as the bridge leading to their escape.
And she was always leaving us behind the entire game. She was always ahead of us, like completely.
Collapses. At first it seems as though Six will leave him. However, at the last minute, she doubles back and catches Mono by the hand, only to let him go a few moments later.
Why? Why?
So, why this sudden betrayal? Mono saved Six at the beginning of the game, once again in the schoolhouse, and then yet again from the confines of the signal tower. So it seems strange that Six would let him fall, and on purpose no less. However, if we consider the kind of person that Six is, things make a little more sense. You see, Six has always looked out for her own survival first and foremost, and when we consider the events of Little Nightmares 2 and the horrors she encountered while accompanying Mono, it is logical to conclude she grew tired of being put in harm's way. While Mono had saved her, he had also exposed her to many very perilous encounters. Add to that the fact we know Six is not a very trusting person, and out of the hardships she has been subjected to, who can blame her?
You came with me! the fuck? And you acting like in this position right here that you couldn't have just pulled me up the entire game. You've been pulling me up. The whole game. I jump somewhere from far enough. She holds and she picks me up and lifts me. Nope, no problem. Now she can't do it? Why?
That Six would let him fall, and on purpose no less. However, if we consider the kind of person that Six...
Kind of person?
It is logical to conclude she grew tired of being put in harm's way. While Mono had...
How was that logical to conclude?
...saved her, he had also exposed her to many very perilous encounters. Add to that the fact we know Six is not a very trusting person.
But she came with us.
And after the hardship she has been subjected to, who can blame her? And if we pay close attention to the scenes in which Mono attempts to reach the door within the signal dimension, we can see the real reason he is ejected from these television sets is because Six pulls him out, sensing he is being drawn to something sinister.
But the only reason I'm being drawn to something sinister, she doesn't know that Mono is the Thin Man. She can't know. She wouldn't be able to know.
Knowing Mono possesses such radical...
She don't know that she created the Thin Man.
...powers, the same powers as Thin Man himself no less, would be a major red flag. It is likely Six felt threatened by Mono's presence, and was worried he may turn on her at some point.
Based off what? I didn't show her my powers the entire game.
Better to leave him behind, and to take no chances. But then, why did she return to him at all? Well, look to the exit. It is made up of a static portal, much like those television screens that Mono uses his powers to transition through at various points during their adventure. Six was never able to travel through these screens herself, because she did not possess such power. If we recall the ending of the original Little Nightmares, you will remember that Six drained the lady of her powers when she herself was powerless.
So what, she took my powers when she was holding my hand?
This sequence seems to mirror that scene. Mono, now powerless, hangs in the balance, and Six returns to him and absorbs just enough of his power to allow her to escape without the aid of her newfound friend.
So if you have powers now, what's the problem with still saving me?
We are given confirmation that Six obtains an element of Mono's power in the game's true ending, unlocked by collecting up all 18 glitching remains. Here we witness Six exiting the signal tower through a television screen, much like Mono does. However, this consumption of power has one terrible consequence. It causes Six to glitch herself. Her
that's what the fuck you get.
body cannot handle this new energy, and so while Six is able to channel the power of others, it changes her every time. In this first instance, Six loses her soul, the good she had within. Her moral compass is removed, and in its place a hunger to fill the void. A hunger we know all too well. That's right, Little Nightmares 2 is no sequel, but a stealth prequel to the events of the original Little Nightmares.
Well, see, I don't know what happens in the first one, so...
Six warps to the Maw, where she now carries an unquenchable desire to fill the void left by her split soul, a hunger which led to some unfortunate consequences.
Is that a sausage? Oh! She said I want some other meat.
So Little Nightmares 2 leads directly into the sequel, which we already played back in 2017. Mind blown, right? Now his use has been served,
Why are you saying it's a child? I'm talking about human meat. Get your mind out the fucking gutter.
Discards Mono and leaves him to the mercy of the signal tower. But as she escapes, Six doesn't quite realise the horrifying ramifications of her actions. Mono becomes trapped at the bottom of the tower, amongst the flesh and eyes, the signal tower then harnessing his remaining power and channeling itself through him. Mono takes a seat and returns the tower to its fake form, hiding its grotesque appearance behind brick and mortar once again. There is no happy ending here, no escape for poor Mono. Over the years, we see him make a chilling transformation. The signal tower corrupts his body and mind. It uses his powers to broadcast out to the world and drain those of their life force, bending their bodies into hideous forms through the distorted signal it transmits. Mono becomes Thin Man. He has always been Thin Man. The story of Little Nightmares 2 is a never-ending cycle. Mono and his powers, exploited though they may be, are the cause of all of the evil and suffering found in all 3 Little Nightmares games.
What do you mean all 3? Y'all said there wasn't a third one. DLC. Okay. You know what?
6's betrayal turned Mono's pure and innocent mind into one seething with anger and hatred, a hatred the tower now uses to its advantage. You may ask how Thin Man, who we will now refer to as Thin Mono, exists in the same time period as Young Mono. After all, the two even threw down against one another.
Yeah.
This is fairly easy to explain if we consider how a transmission works. The signal tower puts out a broadcast, but a broadcast has no particular tie to any time zone or period. It is simply a frequency, and as long as there is something to transmit that frequency, then anything living within it is free to travel across time.
That makes no fucking sense.
Existing in a separate dimension altogether. So, as Thin Man, Mono is able to
I'm gonna go with it though.
travel between past, present, and future at will. He simply required someone to free him from this prison, and thus travels back to his childhood to try and trick his younger self into opening the door that imprisons him, freeing him from the signal tower's control and releasing him into the outside world.
Okay, so I was evil regardless. I thought I was like on some like I gotta save myself alternate dimension type shit. But nah, I was just evil and I wanted to free myself so I can get revenge. Which isn't that bad still, because I still think he deserves the revenge, to be honest.
Here, Thin Mono attempts to destroy 6 and Young Mono, as their demise would mean an end to this cycle. It would stop 6 from betraying his younger self and prevent his eternal imprisonment inside the tower. It would also save the world from eternal damnation.
Wait. Hold on, let me go back. I didn't hear what the fuck he just said.
World. Here, Thin Mono attempts to destroy 6 and Young Mono, as their demise would mean an end to this cycle.
Okay, well I thought he was trying to save him. He was also trying to kill him.
It would stop 6 from betraying his younger self and prevent his eternal imprisonment inside the tower. It would also save the world from eternal damnation. Unfortunately, Mono is always bested by his younger, stronger self, and so the cycle repeats forever, and Mono remains forever trapped.
Type of bullshit is this?
And with that, we have come to the end of this very long and very in-depth video. This is actually far longer than I had planned it to be, but hopefully you enjoyed it and now understand the world of Little Nightmares 2 a little better. Also, it should be said once again that there are many interpretations of this story, and this is simply mine.
Nigga, you said it was a... Alright, you know what? Alright, I'm just chill. I watched this whole shit for the nigga to say, oh, it's all explained, and then the nigga said, like, oh, it's a theory at one particular point, and then he sits to the end and be like, oh, nah, it's a theory. Like, shut the fuck up, nigga. Like, what are we doing? I need the facts. There's a Little Nightmares 3 coming out? Explaining what? Maybe Mono finally gets his justice? Who in the fuck? I know that ain't 6. What story is this based off of? I like the music too. I mean, I would assume that this is still based off the first, but like maybe that timeline is finished and they just moved on to new niggas, because he's never gonna beat his younger self. That's fucked up. It's just a completely new story. Yeah, that's fucked. I need some solace for my dude, because that's crazy. There's really no point in starting up the other series again, though. They will have to do a completely different series, actually. Because he's not going to be able to beat his young self. He's going to live in an infinite loop. Nothing's going to change ever. So he's fucked. He's finished. That's fucking depressing. Unless 6 dies, she's not gonna die. They're gonna keep repeating it. That's fucked up. Wait, what is this?
Peggy 16.
Why am I watching the first trailer when we know how the first game ends? That's not what the third one should have been about, not these new characters. Wait, that's what the third one should have been about, not these new characters. Why even have that be a thing, though? If he's going to live in an infinite loop, like, who gives a fuck? Not saying that who gives a fuck, because I would like to see the story different, but, like, if he's going to live in an infinite loop, how will he get out of it? They going to start the game and, like, they better off doing DLC, which you just said they did for Little Nightmares, than they are trying to extend that story, because it's never gonna. It's just not going in. Why are you questioning your decisions? Why the fuck are you questioning me? Questioning my decisions? Do what the fuck I want. Whole game of 6 dying would be insane. Yeah, I don't get it. Little Nightmares 3 embarks on a new adventure in the unique world of Little Nightmares. In Little Nightmares 3, you'll guide